Hi, I'm Beverly Harzog, host of Your Personal Economy. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 things that I quit to save money. Now, a few of these I just quit in the last couple of weeks and shocked even myself that I was willing to do this. And a few I quit quite a while ago. And there's one in particular that changed the way I thought about money, and it really put me on the road to financial independence. So I'm going to start with that one. One of the best things I ever did for myself was to stop worrying about what other people think. I will say when I was in my 20s and 30s, and if I'm honest, into my 40s, I had a bad case of imposter syndrome. One of the problems was when I was in my 20s, I was a CPA and I wasn't very good at that job. So it almost felt like imposter syndrome made sense for me at that time. I was good enough to be somewhat successful in that career. In my 30s, I actually became a writer, and that really was what I was meant to do. So as I became a better writer and realized I was doing what I was meant to do, imposter syndrome kind of went away. But there's something about imposter syndrome that doesn't get talked about a lot. And that's that at the root of it, you really care what people are thinking about you. You're worried you're going to get found out that maybe you're not as good at your job as they think you are. But you also just worry about what people think. Are they judging you? And I can tell you at this point in my life, no, nobody cares. When you're in your 20s and 30s, do you think everybody's talking about you? When you're in your 40s, you decide, I don't care that they're talking about me. After 50, you realize nobody was ever talking about you at all. They're too worried about themselves. And once you realize that, you're going to feel such a sense of liberation. Seriously. I never felt so free. And at that point, when I realized this, I began to really take control of my spending. There was no more spending to impress anybody. I didn't need to have the most expensive outfit at work anymore. And this was a slow transition for me. And it might be for you too. If you're in the middle of that, don't worry. It does get better as you get older. And maybe you move into a new job at some point and you feel more comfortable with what you're doing. It feels like a better fit. So it does go away. And sometimes you have to like really proactively work at it too to deal with it. So once you stop worrying about other people, you're not trying to keep up with the virtual Joneses anymore. Okay. You don't care where they went on vacation. You don't care if your car is not as nice as theirs or if you have a smaller house. None of those things really matter in the greater scheme of things. It's all about your own personal economy and making choices that are best for you and for your wallet so that you don't get into debt. So just taking that leap and not worrying about what other people think, that's when you can really get control of your money. Now, the next one is something I quit just a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm surprised I did, but I don't miss it at all. The second thing I decided to give up was Instagram. Now, I surprised myself with this because I do enjoy Instagram because everything's just so pretty there, isn't it? And when I worked at US News and World Report, I did a live Instagram show every Thursday morning called Manage Your Money. And I really enjoyed that. I got a lot of feedback from the audience. It was a lot of fun. But after I left US News, I found I wasn't really enjoying Instagram all that much. It didn't feel like I was reaching my audience. And I really did want to help people manage their money. So I started evaluating it a little bit differently. And I also realized that when I'm there, I don't buy things that I see there, but it gives me an idea of things I do want to buy. And then I'll hop off Instagram and go Google it. Like whether it's shoes or jewelry or something I need for my home. It was just the power of suggestion, I guess, was the issue for me. And it's funny, last week I was talking to a friend of mine, a guy in his 30s, late 30s, I believe, and he said, that he got off of Instagram because he likes fashion. And so it was making him spend money on Instagram based on the advertisements were. And they were all targeted to things he likes, you know. Of course, they all do that. So I did give it up and I don't miss it. If anything, I feel just a lot more serene because I don't have another social media obligation. So I'm on X. I've been there for years, and there's a personal finance community there. And I'm at Beverly Harzog. If you want to check me out over there, I answer questions there too. So you can just ask me a question and I will respond to you. And I'm also on YouTube. So those are my two main platforms that I decided to focus on. And not only have I given up all of these extra expenses that I would suddenly think, oh, yeah, I do need that. But I'm a lot calmer, which makes me more efficient. Okay. And I get more things done and I just feel better about life in general. So that's worth a lot right there. Now, the third thing I gave up is along the same lines. I gave up my Peloton membership. There's a subscription. It's about $44 a month, I believe. And when I got a Peloton a couple of years ago, it was because I had gotten a total knee replacement. And I don't know if any of you have ever had a knee replacement, but it hurts and it takes a long time to recover from it. And I am an exercise nut. I love to exercise. I've never been one of those people that has to make themselves go out and exercise or lift weights or do yoga. I love all of it. So I thought I would really love Peloton, and it was something I could do to rehab my knee. And I enjoyed it for a little bit, but then I realized I'm really not enjoying this. I found the instructors to be a bit annoying because they talk so much. And if I wanted to have that kind of conversation with people, I would go to a gym probably. But so I decided to just discontinue that, cancel that. And now I exercise just about every day. I take Fridays off, but I exercise 6 days a week and I love it. And it's all free. I do have an exercise room in my house. I still have the Peloton. So if I ever have to have my other knee done, God forbid, but should I ever have to use it again, I can always renew my subscription to Peloton. And that's the thing. When you give up something, there's always a chance you can bring it back later if you decide you want to. All right. The next one is sort of the opposite of what common advice is. And that's coming up next. That's my number 4. The fourth thing that I quit is kind of the opposite of what you have been told is the right thing to do when it comes to saving money on groceries. I used to do a meal plan. I used to write down what we were going to have each day of the week and then make my grocery list. Now I don't do that anymore. I quit doing that. So now I go to the refrigerator and I look and see what's in there. I check expiration dates. I look and see what we've had left over from DoorDash. I mean, I'll save leftover rice and I can use that in some sort of skillet dinner. Okay. I mean, I use everything now. I'll look in the freezer and see what I can, use to supplement with things in the fridge. I'll look in my pantry and see what I've got. And then I will create meals from that. And it has virtually eliminated all the food waste that I used to have. And I used to waste quite a bit. It used to just really stress me out. So that doesn't happen anymore. I'm probably saving about $50 to $60 a week doing this. So you might give that a shot, depending on how you like to put meals together. I enjoy creating things, and I do look at recipes, but then I'll go kind of off script a little bit and put my own twist on things. I am really big on adding garlic to just about everything. It makes everything better, right? And it's a superfood, I've been told. So, but I love kind of creating stuff like that. And it's just been a lot more fun, and I think we're eating better too because I'll add like fresh vegetables and things like that, and it's just a lot more fun. All right, so number 5, And this was kind of an unusual one for me too, but I finally realized a couple of years ago that I was suffering from a scarcity mindset. I did not grow up with money. And when I was young, I learned that money is very important. So I really made a conscious decision to go to college, get a good job, and save money. But then I realized a few years ago that I get stressed when I spend it. I mean, I actually have money now and I get stressed when I spend it. And so you're wondering, okay, so how does this help you save money if it kept you from spending money? Well, the problem when you deprive yourself of things that make you happy is you inevitably go on some kind of a spending binge. And I realized that this was happening. So I took steps to feel more comfortable about being very intentional with my money, mindful spending. And I made sure that everything I spent my money on was within my budget, of course. So wherever you are in your financial journey, make sure that when you choose to spend money, it's on things that make you happy and that you can afford. You don't go into debt on any budgeted splurges. Okay. I've talked about that quite a bit. But I found that when I was intentional and I chose very carefully what I wanted to spend my money on, whether it was on me, the family, my dog, whatever it was, I was very happy about that. And I felt very calm and happy about it. And I had no need to do any emotional spending. So that's the thing about having a scarcity mindset. Sometimes you restrict yourself with spending so much that you just go out and spend way too much on something to try to get in a little emotional uplift. So, also known as retail therapy. So, that is the 5 things that I have quit that have made me feel so much better about my life, and I have saved a lot of money by doing this. When I put all of it together, I'm probably saving a couple $100 a month, and that adds up over time. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode about saving money. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments section some things that you do to save money. Coming up next, I'll be talking about some sneaky ways to increase your credit score in a hurry. If you're enjoying my podcast, please subscribe on YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you at the next episode.